What's going on, guys? Welcome to vlog 7. So there's quite a lot of exciting stuff going on in the workshop today, so we're going to go around and show you what's happening. We are out in our car park, and I just want to show you what's going on out here as well before we go inside. Of course, you can see the wide body Nissan GTR that was stolen. That car is now ready to go into paint. Over here you can see our Range Rover Velar. That's in the shop at the moment because we've been taking some measurements off of all the suspension, because now we can finally put the car on airbags. That's thanks to our latest collaboration with the guys at Air UK, who we're working very closely with now, because these guys are enabling us to provide the ultimate solution to all of you guys out there who cannot find airlift systems for your car. The airlift companies that are providing the systems available at the moment, like Airlift and Airx, great. We've got no issues with those kits whatsoever. We've been using them for years, and we will still continue to use them for the applications they have available off the shelf for cars for our clients. But however, there are many cars out there, such as 3 or 4 of our own cars, that unfortunately doesn't have airlift systems available off the shelf. So these companies unfortunately don't provide a solution for that. We can now finally and thankfully provide you guys with a solution, because by simply taking a series of measurements from the suspension from your vehicle, we can then pass the information on to the manufacturers who we work with, and they will then produce a brand spanking new kit according to the measurements that we give them, that will then finally fit your car. That's what we're doing, and that is why the car is here. The measurements have now been taken, the information has been passed on, so in the next coming 2 or 3 weeks that car will be bagged. If you look towards my right, you've got our Audi RS4, which is just here. It's just hanging out and chilling. And then we've got this car. Now, I'm not going to get too involved in telling you what this car is about, because it's a very, very, very special build. But I'll let the build video for this car and the specific video for this vehicle do the talking, rather than me going into it, because it's just far too extensive. But in a nutshell, I'll keep it short and sweet. This car is actually not a Nissan GTR. It is a Nissan Stagea, which basically means it's an estate car. If you look down the side, it's a station wagon, and it's had a front end conversion done where you can clearly see that it's got a GTR front end on the car. What that means is, when I saw this car for sale, I just fell in love with it, because I thought, wow, finally we can build something that's completely out of this world, that will blow everyone away, because I have a very strong love for Nissan GTRs, but unfortunately the GTR is just such a common car now that literally everyone and anyone can afford one and have one, and they have, in my eyes, they have no exclusivity left about them whatsoever. But if I do what I'm planning to do with this, then it becomes extremely unique again. Again, it's a GTR with a twist, with our own twist, of course, and that's what we're all about, ultimately, as you guys know. So, in a nutshell, what we're going to do is take off this front end, and we're going to put on our full Type 3 wide body conversion and convert it to my 17, or my 20 if you like, because my 17 to my 2020 are still the same model. So we're going to put the lightning bolt headlights in, our wide body front wings, our bumper, our bonnet, our wide body rear arches, and we're going to customize all of that to fit. Where it gets interesting is we will be stripping down our 1100 horsepower Litchfield's Nissan GTR, and we're going to be absolutely gutting it, taking out all of the running gear and transplanting the running gear from that car and fitting it into this, making this the world first fully converted Nissan GTR, with the engine and running gear, running that kind of power at the same time. We will up the power to probably around 1400 horsepower, but it's not a small task. It is a mammoth task, and I'm not going to go into too much of what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. We'll talk about that on the build video. But let's move on. Next to it, you can see Chris's Honda Civic Type R. Again, we've taken a series of measurements for this car, also because this car will finally now be bagged too. Let's take you inside and show you what's going on. The first thing that will catch your eye is this completely wrecked BMW 840. This is the client's vehicle, which has been dropped off to be inspected. And we need to obviously collate a report and an estimate for the customer, so that we can continue and either repair the car or give it back to the customer. But in a nutshell, this client is very well aware of what this car is roughly going to cost him. You can have a look at the car. It's absolutely wrecked. It's going to need a rear core on the back end, obviously the rear bumper, boot lid. It's got suspension damage. The whole front end has been completely wrecked on the corner especially. It's got heavy suspension damage. But until we actually strip it right back and get to the depths of the damage, we won't really know how serious the chassis damage is, because it could be a case of where the damage is so severe that it's not actually worth repairing. But anyway, that's a job for another day. This is the GTR. So this is the car in question when it comes to what I was talking about earlier with the Stagea. The running gear is going to be removed from this car, transplanted into that, and we're going to keep this on road by fitting a 750 horsepower engine and gearbox. So this car will stay on the road, and then we can sell it on, and it's just go on to another customer. And you remember Snowy, right, Snowy? Hey, say hello to everybody. Say hello to the camera. Hi. Hello. Right, so it gets more exciting in here because you can see we made real good progress on our R33 GTR. Arches are now pretty much finalised and complete in terms of shape and design. Paul's now going around finalising it, fine-tuning it before we can put it to primer, and then it goes away for moulding. So then we can produce it in carbon fibre, and then back on the car it goes. So if you come around the back here and zoom in on that, you can see the crash beam, the turbo housing, the intake pipe. That's a crash beam. That's all been black chrome for the client. And that's simply because when we do car shows, we can remove the rear bumper, put the bumper on display, and have the whole back end on display like that, obviously showing off the fact that it's twin turbo. And not just any twin turbo, the mother of all twin turbos. Here we have a Mercedes SL. We're just finishing the airbag system also. Again, this is a job that we're working on with in collaboration with Air Out UK, and this is the first air ride kit that we're installing for them. But the kit that they've supplied us actually isn't for this car, it's for another model. I think that's quite close to it. I can't remember off the top of my head at the moment, but it didn't fit, so we had to customize it, carry out some minor fabrication work to get it all to fit, and finally it actually works very, very well. It all fits nice. It's fully functional. The car's been off the axle stand, spin on the floor, and it sits exactly how we wanted it to sit. So really, really happy with that. And to be fair, we're actually getting on really well with the equipment they provide us, because obviously it's not the same as the other airlift kits and airix kits and other brands out there that we worked with. This is completely separate, but it's actually very user friendly. So far, so good. We're at the stage now where we are literally just doing the boot install. So we're going to make it all pretty, install everything underneath the spare wheel area. So that panel there is going to come up inside there in the spare wheel area. There's going to be no spare wheel on this car anymore. We're going to put some MDF down and cover it in black carpet, and then install all the components nicely and neatly, and just literally putting the boot floor back down. The only thing that's going to be on display will be the tank. That's how the client wants it. If you come over, let me show you what Dave's working on in terms of Shabs' car, because we haven't spoke about this car in any vlog just yet, or this one to be fair, but that car in particular is a build that we've been working on for 5 years. When I say 5 years, I mean 5 years ago we started it. We haven't been working consistently for 5 years, because that would just be really sad if we take that long building cars. But yeah, Karen takes that long making videos for our builds, but we don't take that long making builds.
On there.
And in other news, if you would like any of your furniture repaired or fixed, Dave's your man. So this car is a Nissan 300 ZX. It's a Z31 model. which is the early shape, 3 litre turbo, single turbo, manual. We are keeping this OEM style. We're not going overboard with body kits and that sort of stuff. We're simply putting a front lip on it, a rear boot spoiler. Well, actually, the rear boot spoiler is a replica of the original. So we'll be putting that in carbon fibre, and a front lip to go on the front bumper, and just some lips, add-on bits and pieces. What we have done is to give the car a bit more of a butcher and a nicer stance, and to house these big whopping deepish wheels, which you can see here. We have flared the arches in steel, so we've done metal fabrication work. Dave has ground out all the filler that he put in all them years ago, and he's going to be redoing it all. And the idea is to basically make the arches perfect left and right, and once they're perfect, we will then mould them and remake them in carbon fibre, and then obviously redo it. But in a nutshell, that car is going to be an OEM kind of looking, slammed to the floor, low riding, old school Nissan 300 ZX. This car, because of its age, has got signs of rust absolutely everywhere. If you look here, you can see it's blown through the metal. If you look here, all of this is all areas that Dave has to rectify. And there's only one way to do these jobs, and it's just to do it once and do it right and do it properly. It might take a few weeks longer, but it's got to be done. It's absolutely rotten underneath. If you come around here, you can see, again, Dave's ground everything out to bare metal. You can see the arch fabrication work that's been done in steel. That's pulled it out by about 1.5 inches. That's going to be all lobbed up with filler, fiberglass, made nice. But as I said, once it's perfect, it's going to be primed, then moulded, and then redone with brand new carbon fibre arches stitched onto the bodywork. Shabs is completing a dream that I had before he bought this car. So I actually had one of these when I was about 17 years old, and I couldn't finish it because I was only young, I was only a child or kid, and I ended up losing the car to the council, I think. I think it's a funny story behind that. And I never ever got another one after that. And then when this one came available, Shabs just seized the opportunity and bought it. But there you go. That's basically what's going on in the workshop at the moment. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the vlog, and we'll see you guys on the next one.